We're not strictly vintage and we're not fully electro swing. We're creating our own thing, and that's what I like. And I think that's what makes us a different artist.
Elle and the Pocket Belles are a staple of the electro swing world. Bursting onto the scene a decade ago with their debut EP, they've captured hearts everywhere with their irresistible fusion of classic close harmony vocals and modern jazzy pop. From charming crowds at festivals like Goodwood Revival and teaming up with fashion icons Collectif, to tearing up the stages at Glastonbury, Swingamajig and Boomtown, they've built a rare following that bridges both the electro swing and vintage revival scenes. I catch up with the girls and explore their creative process, their plans for the future, and much, much more in this latest episode of the Electro Swing Podcast with the bewitching Elle and the Pocket Belles. Welcome to the Electro Swing Podcast.
Yay! Hello, Ollie. Nice to meet you virtually.
Likewise, yeah, thank you very much for coming on. Anyone who doesn't know you and isn't familiar with your music already, can you just give us a little intro and a description of what kind of music you make?
If you don't know us, we are Elle and the Pocket Belles. We are an electro swing, retro pop girl band. I would say that describes us. You know, that's the tagline in a nutshell.
He moved just like a serpent, softly, smooth and quick. My body shivered with delight. He asked me what a girl like me was doing here. I said I'm dancing with the devil tonight. Ring for me, ring for me, ring for me. Swing for me, baby, give me all that you got. The rhythm's cool and the bass is hot. Swing for me, baby, till the break of day when demons hide away. Hit me with a shot of sin on the rocks with a little gin. Temptation cannot be denied, so open up the gates and step inside.
So just before we get started, who do we have here today?
Elle, Chloe, Joe.
And there are 5 of you in total, I believe, is that right?
There's 5 and more.
Yeah.
5 and counting. People who have listened to our music will definitely know that there are 5 of us. We have Kat and Michaela who can't be with us today. Life journeys. They are mothers and they're busy with their little ones at home. And we've sort of developed into a collective of women, fabulous women that I like to bring into my world. So yeah, we've got even more girls on board and move through who's available when.
What's the story behind the name as well? I think I can probably guess, but for anyone watching who doesn't know, can you just explain where the name comes from?
Yes.
Give us a guess.
I think it might be because Elle is taller than everyone else, and so the rest of the people seem like pocket bells in comparison, but that's just a guess. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that's essentially it. When I went to music college, I met some of my friends and they were both really small and they were only 5'2".
Sorry, they were normal size. We are people too.
So I'm referencing Michaela and a girl called Laura who used to be in the band. We would always stand together when we were in performances, in choirs or in shows. And it just used to make me laugh because I would be literally looking down at them. When we decided to form a group together, we had to make a play on that.
So your first EP or your first release came out in 2015, is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that was our first single release called Swinging Together with Ragtime Records. It was so exciting to first time release a song. And it came about because we got booked to perform at Swingamajig Festival in Birmingham, run by Tom Hyland and Richard Shawcross. And I mean, they basically gave us our first break. They enjoyed what we did at the festival and said, let's release one of your songs. And then adding on to it, we had 3 different remixes by different DJs. And that was really exciting for us.
That's really cool. And that's still one of your biggest songs, isn't it? Swinging Together.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's just, I don't know, we just really tapped into what works in this genre very early on. And I don't think we even realized how on the mark we had got it with that song. Simple lyrics, a really catchy hook that gets repeated a lot and is about dancing because the electro swing world, people love to dance to that music. It's not just to be heard. The magic was just there, and we didn't even realize how well it would be received. And it's been out for a while, so now we're starting to see the listens and the views are accruing over the years.
And also when we're doing live gigs, we're seeing people singing back the lyrics.
Yeah,
Which is amazing. And then because you forget, oh yeah, they've been listening to that. They know this. It's
song.
really, they I this too. And forget how long that's been out. And if people have been following, that they actually really know it and they respond in that way. It's amazing.
So that came out in 2015. You've done lots of stuff since then, but your debut album came out last year. Is that right?
Yes, so What's a Girl to Do came out in February.
Feb 2024.
Yeah, February 2024.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about that and the journey to creating a full album, please.
Wow, that's been a journey, isn't there?
Yeah, it's been a very big journey and a big gap between obviously the releases. I think the reason why there was such a long gap was because we fell into a pattern of being a very busy gigging band. Obviously, they gave us that start in releasing the song, but that wasn't how we started the band. We were a live gigging band, so we had lots of gigs and it just kept coming. And that was my main focus on work and just to keep the money coming in. You know, it was our full-time job for lots of us for many years. We had some weeks we'd have 4-5 gigs a week. It was all we were doing. And it just took up all of our time. And so releasing new music wasn't the most important job.
It wasn't the initial focus.
No. I wish it had been.
I know.
This is the thing now. We got it wrong, I would say. It's not a bad thing, but I wish now we had followed on from that initial release and just kept that ball rolling.
Why do you regret that? Or why do you say you wish you had done that more, out of interest?
Because now that we have the physical item of our album in our hands, this tangible thing to go, we created that and it's now out there in the world is amazing. And I just look back and think, gosh, nearly 10 years, we could have had another album in that time. I think it comes with a positive reaction to how we feel now having our album. I'm like, oh, I just wish we could have more. And we will.
Yeah.
And I just also, actually, I wish we had done it before the age we're at now. Because it is difficult. You know, we touched upon it. The age we are as women, in relationships, families, life, buying houses. You know, it's a busy time of our lives to be solely focused on a music career. It's really tough.
And it's such an all-encompassing thing when you're in that zone. Like we felt that when we were in the latter stages of shooting all the music videos, and it's so exciting, but it takes your entire focus and you're living in that bubble. And we don't have the time to be that selfish as artists anymore. You look back, don't you, and realize just how much freedom you did have at a different point in your life.
So next question is, there's EP in 2015, there's the album in 2024. You've done lots of collaborations and stuff in between. And as I say, you kind of, I think, very visible and present and active on the scene anyway. And one of those collaborations is Mr. Trick. You appeared quite a bit on his album. So it seems like you guys are quite sort of closely entwined with one another. Can you tell us a little bit about that relationship?
Yeah, definitely. It goes like years. We first met Rich probably back in 2011, I think. So Helen, one of the girls who, again, used to be in the band, she introduced us to him. He was DJing. He liked our music and he just kind of said, oh, I want to remix your song. I'll be honest, I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, okay, sure. Like, I have no idea what we're going to create. Go for it. And I really liked what he did. And then, so his remix is on the Swinging Together Ragtime Records. And that kind of started our journey. I loved what he did. I was like,
So creative, isn't it?
okay, this has got legs. And he kind of introduced us to the electro swing world even more. So after doing things like Swingamajig, more and more doors were opening and I was understanding the electro swing genre in front of me rather than just the vintage swing and live jazz bands, live swing. Yeah, it was really exciting. We just kept working together. He also kept working in the background on other music and then created his band, Mr. Trick Collective. And when he released his album, we featured on his album, which I'm so glad we did.
Yeah.
Some really great songs that we're featured
It's a
on.
great album.
Yeah, his album's called You, and another one is coming. And then it led to the opportunity to collaborate with him live. So Chloe has come and done gigs as well for Mr. Trick Live, and it's been so fun.
Yeah, really fun. Like getting to do his style of electro swing.
Oh, wow, he wouldn't say electro swing. Swing and bass.
Swing and bass, that's
Originally, and now it's gone even more just to live drum and bass.
yeah. But that getting to do that, it's a different feel, it's a different vibe.
It's interesting that you talk about the two different like worlds there of vintage and electro swing and describe them as being different, because I would agree. And it's quite rare to find artists who manage to cross over into both. When I was looking into the stuff that you guys have done, like a lot of the festivals you've played are festivals that most electro swing artists don't play. They're more kind of vintage focused and stuff. And like the Collectif collaboration that you've done, again, that's like a very vintage thing, which you would think that electro swing, there would be more like cross-pollination, but there's not. And you've kind of managed to gain this like vintage following the same way that like the Papini sisters have, but also stay in the electro swing world in a way that a lot of the kind of harmony groups haven't. So was that like deliberate? Is that by design, or has that just happened? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely been an organic development and process, and I'm really glad it's happened. I think one of the reasons why it has happened is because we haven't stayed really strictly vintage. You know, we've taken elements and we've borrowed inspiration, and then we've merged it into what we want to be as a girl group. So we're not strictly vintage and we're not fully electro swing. You know, we're creating our own thing, and that's what I like. And I think that's what makes us a different artist.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what it's always been about for us, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I know when I came into the band, there are, and there still are, lots of vintage swing groups. But there was just something very different when I got introduced to you guys that felt right for me. It just felt like there's a space here to be a little bit more free,
A bit
more modern, a bit more modern and a bit more contemporary within that beautiful vintage kind of structure that, you know, with the close harmonies, all the things that we love about that era. But then and as the time's gone on, it's now developed into whatever it's developed into, which is this cross-pollination.
Yeah.
I like that. It's really good. Yeah, I also feel really proud that we are able to be both and be recognized as both.
So you mentioned earlier, like you've worked a lot with Mr. Trick. You're also on Odd Chap's album, who's very much more electro swingy. Cat in the Hat, the remix that he did of your first track. So yeah, you've worked with lots of other people. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those collaborations and like any particularly notable ones?
Yeah, well, obviously Odd Chap, that was amazing. Yeah, really, really quite proud of that song. And it was a very different writing experience for me. So for Elle and the Pocket Belles, we have a team. Me and Philippa would send each other voice notes, and I would sometimes come up with little vocal lines and some lyrics, and I would just a cappella record them into my phone and send them to her. And she's the musical genius, and she would turn it into a song. I'd be like, this is amazing. From a couple of little ideas, she would be able to structure a whole song and do the piano accompaniment. Whereas for Odd Chap, he creates these incredible instrumental electro swing tracks and then gave it to me to write the top line, which I'd never done before. And it was really interesting to flip the process and be, okay, we have the song. Now I have to write the top line to what I'm already hearing, not something out of my brain. So yeah, I think it came out really well.
It was brilliant. I love that song.
Yeah.
I think also from us as the singers as well, from going into the recording studio, we're used to sometimes having a bit more of a structure for harmonies kind of being laid out. And yes, we'll sort of add in a few more embellishments. But for this, we literally went into the studio and it was like we got a chance to sort of play and and have fun and add our own lines in.
Make up the harmonies in the studio.
Super fun.
Make up the ad-lib lines. Yeah. Taking on solo lines. Yeah. It was a way more freer
collaborative
experience.
We'd definitely love to do more like that. Yeah.
Cool. And on the subject of collaborations, a couple of episodes ago, I spoke to Emily, and she mentioned an interest in potentially doing like a giant collaboration with all the women of Electro Swing, doing like a Lady Marmalade or something like that. Is that something you guys would get on board with?
Absolutely.
I'm Andrew. Yeah.
Awesome.
We know Emma well. We see her at loads of gigs, and we've spoken about this in person. It will happen. It will definitely happen. Can you imagine the music video? All of us women in Electro Swing
Incredible.
in one music video together. Oh, yes.
The more ladies that I speak to throughout this pod, the more like I learn that everyone's up for it. And I think I can't believe it hasn't happened already. And I think it must just be down to the logistics of trying to organize everyone. But like that would be incredible. And also reach so many different people's audiences that it could be a really good thing for Electro Swing in general. So in addition to musical collaborations, you've also collaborated more broadly with like various brands and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well, please?
Yeah, okay. So the biggest one would probably be with Collectif Clothing, who we absolutely love. Otherwise, we wouldn't wear their clothes. Yeah, we were talking about this. How did it start? I can't even remember how it started. I just
You go to the shop.
yeah. I love the costumes. So the side of Elle and the Pocket Belles, getting dressed up, whether it's for the gigs or the music videos, I love choosing what we're going to wear and styling the band. And I would buy a lot of costume over the years. I don't really like to always wear the same thing. So I was spending quite a lot of money in these shops. You know, there are 5 girls. And I think one time I just reached out and said, look, we are wearing your outfits. Look how good they look on us. And here are pictures from all these fabulous gigs. Would you send us some clothing or would you give us a discount? And they said yes. And then it just grew from there. And we started filming like reels in the shop for them to post on their social media. And it was just a wonderful collaboration and joint effort from both sides.
So another thing that I wanted to talk to you about was a TV appearance that you guys made on Sky One. Can you describe that experience for us, please?
Yeah, okay. So it was a program called Sing Ultimate Acapella, and we were asked to join it. It's quite a whirlwind experience of, will you come and be on this show?
Like a few weeks.
Yes. Yeah. Will you be on the show? Yes, we will. Quick, come and rehearse. And then we were straight into the live studio.
But we're not known as an a cappella group.
No.
We go out occasionally and do a cappella at various events, but we're not formed as an a cappella group. So that was already
Yeah.
how are we going to do this and do this well? And in came the 4 guys.
So we decided that we didn't want to just be a vocal a cappella group because that's not what we are. We were already exploring like the electro swing world and working with more of a beat to our music. So we thought, how can we go and be on this show and still try to show honor what we're developing and working on at the minute? So we tried it with beatboxers and rappers. So we collaborated with these 4 guys and became a kind of super group. Can I call it?
Yeah, kind of. There were 9 of us on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, we were a super group.
But
For a small time only.
Being so last minute as well, like getting the 4 guys together and then also merging with us and making it a product that we're proud to put out there on a TV program, that was quite a challenge, wasn't it? It was, like you say, a whirlwind experience. But the guys were amazing. I think they had all worked together in different capacities, hadn't they? And so then we sort of just developed something within, we were told sort of certain songs or genres we had to.
Yes. Yeah.
We were set, but then we created these sort of medleys and worked the boys into it or had everyone moving as well. Like we had, a lot of movement around the stage, making it interesting visually.
Yeah, and that was great.
Talking about it, I realized just like how much there was involved in that in a few weeks.
There was a lot involved. And I mean, it was a great experience. It was our first introduction to live studio TV. So that was incredible. Happily take more of that opportunity in the future. And I think we did really well.
We did great.
about Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up when he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, going reveling. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He's in the army now, going reveling. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
See, Paul guy arrives so too always saloon. Confidence enters his mouth like a balloon. Everybody feels his presence when he steps into the room. Yeah, it's him and the crew. Now
He told me to walk this way.
She told me to
Talk this way. Walk this way.
She told me to
Talk this way.
How you doing?
Walk this way.
She told me to
Talk this way. Walk this way. Just give me.
And the beatboxers, did you know them personally, like before you started working together?
We knew one of them, and Mr. Trick introduced us to another. And then between the two of those, then they brought on their friends. So yeah, it was kind of, some of them, a friend of a friend.
Yeah. Was the one you guys knew or the one that Mr. Trick introduced you to Pie Man? Do you remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah, because that is a small world. Because I saw that clip, and as soon as it said beatboxers, I was like, I bet Pie is involved in this somehow. And then I saw him appear, and I was like, yeah, there he is. I was in a group with Pie for a couple of years, and in fact, because that was 2017, right?
No way.
Your appearance was 2017 on that show, I think, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then me and Pi and another person formed a group in like 2018. I met him late 2017. So probably just after that.
Amazing.
And then we went on to form the Swing Hoppers, which we did for like a couple of years. Let's talk about the electro swing scene. As people who've been in it since 2015, you've been involved in the scene for like a decade now. You must have seen it change and morph and evolve quite a bit over that time. What are your thoughts about the current state of electro swing?
I think there just isn't enough live opportunities for the artists who are producing tracks of this genre. I'm not really sure why that is, why there aren't more nights that celebrate this type of music. I mean, a big shout out to Swingamajig for continuing.
Single-handedly propping up the live side of
Yeah,
electro
very
swing. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and every year that we've performed it, it's been such a great day and a night, like at the hall of the festival, and people are having such a good time, and we just need more of it. So I guess we probably need more event production happening.
More like support from, I think, bigger brands, maybe. Like it feels,
Yeah.
it just feels it still feels quite niche. Yeah.
I would say people, unfortunately, sometimes have a bad reaction to the words electro swing. They might take an immediate disliking to it. Whereas I would say if people listened to our songs, it doesn't have to just fit into that category. We're quite poppy and soulful and sultry and jazzy. Like, it's not just in that box. So I think if the other artists I know are also taking inspiration from other genres, so it's about the audience maybe being more open to what is the sound of electro swing. It doesn't have to be one thing. Let's encompass these different sounds and influences.
What do you guys think is the future for electro swing? Do you have any predictions?
Oh gosh, any predictions?
I think it's this just diversifying all of these artists that are taking those core elements of it and then running with it and creating their own offsprings of it, offshoots.
Yeah, I like that, diversifying the genre.
So we're going to move on to the quick fire round now. So what is one thing in your career that you are most proud of, either creatively or professionally?
The album.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Cool.
100%.
Okay.
The album.
Cool.
Took many years in the making to create it. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. And nice that it's a unanimous answer as well. Sort of contrastingly, what's like one of the biggest challenges you would say you faced?
Getting all five of us in a room together, having our work schedules aligned.
I would say keeping it rolling, brand building as our lives develop and change and, different needs happen, but wanting to stay true and wanting the band to keep growing and going somewhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not been easy, but it's always been a focus of all of ours.
Yes.
There's never been we don't want to do that anymore. So it's like, keep going, make it work as best we can.
if you could go back in time to any point in your career and give yourself a bit of advice, when would that be and what would the advice be?
The advice that I would go back and give myself is believe in yourself and do it sooner. Just do it. Don't fear the failure. Yeah, it took a lot for me to finally be willing to put the album out there. You know, there was a lot of scaredness around it, how it would be received. And I should have just done it. We should have just done it years ago, like we spoke about earlier in the podcast.
But then I think that's the beauty of being older in the decade that we're in, which will remain nameless. But there's less concern about what others think. Like, you know, when you're in your 20s, so much fear around your ego and your, you know, what other people think of you. And I think that's why it allowed you to be able to release it in the time you. So it all has its place.
I think a lot of it does come, for me, it would come back to confidence. So I think it's just trust in yourself as an artist, and don't be afraid to be creative. Don't be afraid to explore. Again, don't be afraid to get it wrong. Yeah. So I think it's be bolder, be bolder. Just have that confidence to experiment and to try and to play.
Okay. What is one track of yours that you think deserves more love? Like you released it and it didn't get the attention you feel it deserved. Something that we can like tell people to go and check out now.
I think we've got different answers.
Midnight Dancer, I absolutely love. I love performing it. I love listening to it. I think it's beautifully written. I love Midnight Dancer.
I think mine, I would say Old Fashioned. I just think, maybe because it was slightly different on the album, people had sort of disregarded it. You know, it's not one of the big dance tracks. I think it's beautiful.
It's stunning.
And the message behind it, and the play on words. Go and listen to it, please.
Mine is Don't You Worry, because I remember when we first started singing that, which was a long time ago, wasn't it? And like, I find it really exciting. It's quite dramatic and
good hook. It
has got a good hook, and I just always enjoyed like the drama of it. And I think
the drama.
Yeah, I just love the drama.
I think it needs to be in a Bond film.
I don't see Bond film. I see like a wartime film. It needs to be like in a film for sure. I think it's got a bit of film soundtrack vibes. And so I see something to do with war.
Any final words for your fans and listeners? Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Amazing. Well, we wouldn't, been able to get to this point without all your support, everyone listening, and all the wonderful comments and things that people say online and when they come see us in person. We absolutely love it. We love meeting you all after gigs.
Yeah, thank you. And keep listening. Please keep listening. And we hope to have more to offer you next year.
Yeah, and let us know anything that you want to see from us, or, we're always open to hearing from you and listening to that. So
amazing. Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you guys very much for your time. It's been
thanks, Ollie.
Really, really fun. And look forward to hearing the new stuff that you are going to be coming out with in the future. Yay. So that was the latest episode of the Electro Swing Podcast, brought to you by Electro Swing Thing and hosted by me, Offbeat. If you want to find out more about our guest, links to their music and socials can be found in the description. And if you want to follow us, please do so at Electro Swing Podcast on all major platforms. And if you want to get a heads up about upcoming guests and a chance to ask your questions, then sign up at electroswingpodcast.com. I'll be back in another couple of weeks with my next guest, and thank you very much for tuning in.